Heart disease isn't only harmful to those who suffer from the ailment. If you are a caregiver, it can be hurting you too. Stay right here as we get tips on how to take care of your loved one and yourself.
Well, Heart Health Month is coming to an end, and all February long, we've been sharing helpful tips and information about cardiovascular disease and prevention.
Today, we're going to focus on the caregivers because the patients aren't the only ones going through all of this. And joining us this morning with some tips to avoid some pitfalls when caring for your loved one is author and caregiver David Nassaney. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I know this is always a question and causes a lot of stress, and we'll get to your tips, but I want to know how you became a caregiver.
Well, 21 years ago, I became a caregiver to my beautiful wife, Charlene, when she suffered a massive stroke. From her heart disease, a blood clot popped out, got stuck in her brain, had a massive stroke. And she became paralyzed and speech impaired. And as a result, I immediately had something in common with the Fonzie, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Hillary Clinton, Queen Latifah, all caregivers. I now host a popular iTunes podcast, the Caregivers Caregiver Radio Show, and I'm a best-selling author of my third book. It's My Life to Reclaim Your Caregiver Sanity. And on my national book and media tour, this is like my 23rd morning show. I've appeared at Harvard, and I'm just speaking all across the country on this. And it's a sad situation. 610,000 Americans die of heart disease every single year.
Was it 30% of caregivers,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Some don't, like, their patients outlive them, I saw.
Yes, 1 in 4 patients die, and caregivers are affected as well.
Stress,
So
right?
30% of them actually die before their loved ones do. 60% will actually become hospitalized, needing a caregiver of their own. And to quote Elton John, it's a sad, sad situation.
It's sad, but you know what? You seem like you're in such good spirits. I saw from the pictures a love that you and your wife share, but you're here to share tips for viewers. Yes. 3 important tips. One viewer had a question, so let's listen to that question and then get to your tip, which is your #1 tip on the other side of it.
How much do you spend on trying to help someone? How much do you do to spend on you? Or when do you say enough is enough? This is my budget for this.
Seems like she wants to spend money on herself, but she has money that she needs to give to the person she's caring for.
It has to be equal. So many caregivers think that their lives are not worth as much as their loved ones, so they give and give and give, and then there's nothing left to give, and they burn out. That brings me to my first tip. You know, caregivers, the #1 mistake caregivers make is they don't put their needs first. Now, every time you go on an airplane, they tell us in the event of an emergency, oxygen mask will fall. Put your mask on first before you help your loved one with their mask. I mean, hello, what an amazing metaphor for all of life. Take care of you first, not out of selfishness, but out of survival.
If you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of somebody that needs it as well. Okay, we have another tip and another viewer question. Let's take a listen.
So, if you are busy with work, how much time do you think you have to spend with your loved one when they are sick?
Well, you want to spend as much time as it takes to meet their needs, but not too much time to hurt your own needs. Okay, that brings me to my second tip. The second biggest mistake, caregivers don't know how to ask for help. Now, everyone has one of these. It's called a cell phone. You turn it on, you punch in your number. Hello, Mom, I need help. Grandma's driving me crazy. Call your brother, call your sister, call your wife's ex-husband, call anybody. Get over that silly notion that if you can't do it all by yourself, you're a failure as a caregiver. That attitude will kill you.
I think especially as women and moms, we want to think that we can do it all ourselves.
Wonder Woman.
But you need to replenish, but then there's that guilt, which leads us to your third tip. What is that?
Well, don't let people guilt you and pile on the guilt like they're stacking pancakes. Remember that show? It was in the 70s. It was called Sanford and Son. It was about a caregiver caring for the elderly father in the junk business. Now, Fred Sanford used to guilt his son Lamont into doing all sorts of cockamamie things. He went something like this, used undeserved guilt. It's a big one. No, son, really, it's a big one. Elizabeth, I'm coming to meet you, honey. And Lamont would fall for that con every single time. And caregivers are the same way. It's kind of like being handcuffed to your loved one and being a prisoner in your own home. That kind of guilt will kill you.
Dave, before we let you go, you have a free book for our viewers, a chance for them to learn some more.
Yes, go to my website, caregiverscaregiver.com. Take the short quiz, Are You a Candidate for Burnout? And I'll send you my first book about overcoming unbelievable hardships. It's the ebook, absolutely free.
Well, thank you so much. You just gave so much important information. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth.
Update on my wife real quick?
Yes, of course.
After 21 years, she still can't talk, but she can communicate non-verbally through charades and Pictionary, 2 games I hate, by the way, but I'm learning to love.
You're learning to love it. All right. Thank you so much for the tips. We'll be right back with more helpful information on how to manage your life after this.